Hi friends, I'm Deandra Wardell, owner of On to the Next One Consulting, and I am so thrilled and excited. First of all, this month we are celebrating leaders, and I'm honored to have with me not only an extraordinary leader, she is a mentor, she is a great friend, she's all the things. But one of the things that I want to spotlight about her today is Mrs. Kiana W. Davis. She is the Central Regional Director of one of the 10 regions within Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I am honored to have her with us today because she has such vision. And she's so sisterly, she's so creative, she's, like I said, she's all the things. But what we want to talk about today, specifically centered around leadership, this year she has started this program called the Center of Excellence. So first of all, I would like for you to give a description of what the Center of Excellence is, and then I'm curious to understand what inspired, what was the vision, how you came up with this phenomenal idea.
Well, what the Center of Excellence is, it really is a 5-cohort training, year-long, 9-month training program. It allows members of the region to really dig deep, whether you want to elevate in local leadership. So the beauty of Alpha Kappa Alpha is that most of the work is done locally.
That's true.
And the impact is local. But for those that are courageous enough and adventurous enough to go to regional, international leadership and within Alpha Kappa Alpha, there's a track for that. And then outside of that, we thought what was important was to make sure we had a track on good financial stewardship, so financial leadership, and something that's really dear to my heart, which is advocacy and social justice. So you might say that was 4, but the 5th one is really reserved for our undergraduates, knowing that Alpha Kappa Alpha was founded by undergraduates. Can you imagine 15, 16, 17-year-olds coming together and finding this organization? And I can just imagine what they're doing in heaven right now.
Yes.
After 115 years, to see how we've grown from the original founders to really over 109,000 active, over 350,000 initiated.
Well, one of the things that excites me, so I'm very honored to be a part of Team Ready,
Yes.
to serve and be a part of your administration, not only from the standpoint of the Educational Advancement Foundation, where we're raising money for scholarships.
Absolutely.
Your fund was recently endowed. It continues to grow. You were recognized during our EAF luncheon during the Leadership Conference. But not only that, I'm very honored to have an opportunity to be one of the instructors for the Center of Excellence and a participant that is actually going through the studies.
Absolutely.
And so, whatever you do, just working with you, there are strategic plans that we're working on for EAF and for the region in general. And one of the things I know that you're really big on is legacy, leaving something behind.
Yes.
So what is your vision of legacy for the Center of Excellence?
Well, so you have to think back, and for me, the Center of Excellence was really birthed out of conversations I have had throughout the region, really growing up in AKA, right? That investment to make sure that you are ready at all times, ready for the position, ready for the assignment. But that doesn't happen haphazardly, right? And it really shouldn't be this really set aside just for a few. The beauty of Alpha Kappa Alpha is that we have women that are very skilled and creative, and sometimes they don't know what that pathway to leadership through our organization, what it looks like and how do you get there. And so I was talking to some sowers maybe 12 years ago, and we were talking about the state of our region and looking at, well, who could be the leader in 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years. And what we realize is that the process of leadership in Alpha Kappa Alpha is not overnight. and you have to be intentional about making sure that you get the appointments, making sure that you do the work. But what if we added an element of, and you're trained?
Yes.
And so therefore, not only do we open up the pool of qualified sorors who are able to lead, but we are assured that they will lead the way Alpha Kappa Alpha needs them to lead in this 115-year-old organization. So that was very much my passion. I will say, John Maxwell says this, the law of the lid. An organization is only as effective as its leader. So if we're not training leaders, our organization can be only as effective as either our trained or our untrained leader. And in Central, my commitment is that we'll have trained leaders.
I love that. So in closing, you said something, you said a word, intentional.
Yes.
And that is one thing that I know to be true about you and all that you do. You're very intentional, you're very methodical, you're very strategic. I think that's one of the reasons that we get along so well, aside from our love for fashion. But anyway, and service, of course. But it's very intentional.
It is.
And that's something as a part that we're focusing on with celebrating leaders. Anytime, I often say, if you find yourself under or working or supporting and reporting to a good leader, be very thankful. Get behind that leader, especially a leader with vision, a leader who is inspirational, a leader who is willing to empower and share the workload. And I can certainly say that about Mrs. Kiana W. Davis. So thank you for being intentional in all that you do. Thank you for one, casting the vision, because that is the responsibility of the leader. And then not only that, allowing all the members of your team and members of your region to be a part of the vision, and where we see ourselves fitting in to work towards all of these things we want to accomplish in the name of service and sisterhood. And the list is long, but we're strategic. So we're focusing on one thing, and we're going to keep moving on to the next one to be of service to all mankind. And we will remain unapologetically ready, captivating, and confident. And the beauty of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I know you all hear me say this all the time, I love my sorority, but one of the reasons I love it so much is how much it has poured into me. Early on, a lot of the leadership training and development, even the leadership training and development I received, comes from my sorority sisters. And my regional director, with all of the responsibilities that she has, she still takes time to mentor me, to mentor our undergraduates, and to be there and be supportive of anyone who is carrying this vision. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being so inspirational. Thank you for letting us work. Thank you for letting us be creative and use our gifts and talents to be able to help others and do this service work. And thank you for your time. I love you dearly. Mwah.